Hey guys, this is Jacob, NightRiderShop.com. Just giving you a look at my convertible car here. That's been sitting quite 2-3 years now. It's been sitting around. I haven't really driven it much. You can see I don't have a bumper on it. And you can see it's covered up. I did start sanding it and doing work on it, about a year ago. And then I got into the T-top and I recovered the seats, and it's just been something that I redid the top, and it's just been something that's been sitting, and I got to get to painting it soon. And you can see this 2-3 season bumper that I made from the season 1. I never got this thing finished. It's been sitting here too. Got all the flanges on to start molding it. It's just been kind of sitting on the back burner, guys. I don't know, some of you guys know that my mom passed away in October 6th, 7th, and yeah, it hit us all hard, because I live with my mom since I think about 2014. I moved back in with my mother and my family, and she has rheumatoid arthritis really bad. I mean, she had her knees replaced, elbows. I mean, she could barely walk and barely take care of herself. And I don't know, it was kind of good that we moved in, because I was able to, be there for her. And my wife, she was always cooking her dinner and lunch, and so it was actually a good thing that I moved back at home. And in case you guys didn't know, this house is actually my dad's house. It's not my house where I live. I was living in a little tiny place over there in Los Gatos before I moved here for a few years with my wife. And my dad, I think he got hit pretty hard when she died. We all could treat people better when they're around, and then when they're gone, it's kind of like too late. You should have treated them good and loving while you could have, and that's what I regret. I wish I spent more time with her. I was out in the garage more, working on this bumper, season 1 bumper. I was really all into that when I got here around 2014, and I was debt free when I moved in, and I started buying all kinds of stuff to make new parts, and thousands and thousands of dollars I was putting into the hobby of Night Rider. Tens of thousands. And I mean, it pays off somewhat, but I'm not making a whole lot of money. I think I'm doing my taxes this year. I'm like barely 11,000-12,000. It's pretty bad. It's worse than last year. Might be partly myself. I'm not really trying to sell parts. When people ask me, I'm kind of hesitant, because if I know I can't push out a part, in a fair amount of time, I won't even bother. So I'm always playing catch up, getting parts out. And it's just not a whole lot of money, So my dad, I guess he's been looking for a companion after my mom died. Fairly quick, because you could imagine being with a sick woman for so long, 20 years of sickness, that can do a lot to a man. And so I guess he was willing to find a new woman, and he finally did find one, and I guess it's okay, he wanted somebody, but this woman wanted to move in like after a month of meeting him, and I was just like, that's too soon. You don't even know the lady, okay? And I got into arguments with him. I'm a Christian, my family's Christian, and I'm following Christ. And if you're not a Christian, you might want to shut this video off right now, because it has nothing to do with Night Rider. And I know there's a lot of atheists, there's a lot of unbelievers, a lot of other religions out there, but this is just for the Christians out there. Maybe you won't want to turn it off if you're not one. But anyways, I'm a Christian. I've had battles. I've had people on Facebook tell me I shouldn't talk about Christ, shouldn't mix it with my business. But it's such a small business. Who really cares? I'm nothing. I'm not a big fry. I'm very small, just a little guy. And yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to follow Jesus. I've always been brought up Christian, but I fall away too. I've had my times where I've been separated with my wife, and dating other women and doing wrong things. I'm not perfect. And I got baptized when I moved here, I think 2014. And when I got baptized, I feel like I changed. I was able to stop doing things that I used to do a lot, like cursing and looking at stuff online. Some people have struggle in looking at porn, and so I never really had that problem or anything, but sometimes I occasionally look at some women, And, you know, for being a Christian, that's wrong. You're actually cheating with your eyes. I know a lot of you guys won't agree with that are not Christians. Even some Christians, they think it's okay. But I know it's wrong. And so I stopped doing that, and I, you know, got real close to my wife and my kids and tried living right for Christ, you know. And it just happens to be what I do is, you know, Knight Rider stuff. And so, you know, making dashes, bumpers. You guys all know. I got a passion for that. I got a, you know, I enjoy it. You know, and I'm living here at my dad's house. I got the garage here that, you know, he wasn't really using, and I was able to make parts out of. Well, I don't make them here. We make them in a different city at a shop, but I do the finish work here. It's the sanding and the primer work. And it allows me to stay home. I got 3 kids. I got a 15-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So, yeah, so I got in a fight with his girlfriend because she came over after Valentine's Day this month, and you know, I told her, you know, Dad, what you're doing is wrong. You're fornicating. You're committing adultery. And by the way, this woman is still married. She is married to I think her 3rd husband, from what I heard, and I think she's living at home with her son. So, it makes you think, gold digger. You know, it makes you think she's just looking for another husband to take care of her. But my dad's really vulnerable right now because of what happened with my mom, her passing. And, yeah, I think he's just really vulnerable. After a week, he was going out with her, you know, spending the night at her house. And I'm just like, it's too soon. You need to heal first. Sometimes it takes a long time to heal. But he's always been, he smokes cigarettes and he's very impatient, you know. Everything he does is in a hurry. Sometimes I need help in the garage, but I do not ask him for help because he will rush me to do everything fast. And I like to do things at my own pace, kind of a little bit of a perfectionist when I do things. And he's just get it done real quick. So we're a little bit different. And yeah, so we got in a fight. He took off for the whole weekend. And by the way, he proposed to my wife's sister. This is kind of personal stuff, but she speaks Spanish only. She visited from Mexico. She's, you know, about 50 years old, close to it. And he proposed to her, which is funny because he can't even speak to her. That's how vulnerable he is to you know, have companionship, you know, with someone, to get remarried. But anyways, yeah, this woman he met, she is no good. They left that day that I got in the argument. You know, I told her, you know, it was wrong that we're Christians, and I don't appreciate her spending the night at the house. You know, it's his house, but still, I live here. And maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong to a lot of you guys out there. You guys are all going to say, well, that's your dad's house. He has the right to do what he wants. But just think about it, how hypocrite that is. You raise your son and you tell him fornication is wrong. When I was 18, I met my wife, and I brought her in my room when I was 18, and my dad called the cops on me, believe that or not. Yeah, Blue ISIS, they came to my door. I was getting in my car after he called the cops. I got in the car, and the cop goes up to my car and says, "You better stop." He says, "I was about to break your window and drag you out of your car." And yeah, that's how they deal with this domestic problems in this country. Threaten to, you know, beat you if you don't do what they say. And I didn't really do anything illegal. If you think about it, I was just in my room with, you know, my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife today. And yeah, so pretty much that's funny how that works. Like he brought me up not to do those things, and now when he's doing it at a vulnerable time, I'm like, "Hey, Dad, you shouldn't be doing this." And he's like, "No, the Bible doesn't say that that fornication is not in there. He says you can sleep around with women. It doesn't say you can't." And I'm thinking, well, fornication, adultery, you know, if the woman's married, I mean, that's biblically wrong. We all know that. We all fall short. I get that. But, you know, knowing me, I just wanted to tell him, hey, look, it's wrong. And tell that woman it's wrong, too. So she came over the next day. I said, "You're going to start fornicating some more?" When they were walking down the hallway. And she never really says hi to me. She came over a few times, and she just kind of walks into his room, sneaks in. It's kind of like they're children. You know, they're almost 63 years old, and they're acting like children. And yeah, so he's been gone all weekend, and when he gets back, he goes and puts these 60-day notice of termination of tenancy all over the house. One on the fridge, one on the front door, one on my door, one on the table. I mean, they're everywhere on the house, and he signed it. and he dated it the day I got the argument, which was that Friday. He says, I have 60 days to move out. Okay. And my wife, she saw him putting these out, and I was asleep, and she goes and rips it up, and she's like, we can't leave in 60 days. You know, I don't know if you guys know, I'm almost bankrupt. I owe like 30, 40 grand from the Knight Rider business. You know, buying compressors, guns, all the things, all the fiberglass material that I buy. You know, the drum, buying a drum of fiberglass materials is, you know, I don't know what we pay, $1,200, $1,500 for the drum, whatever it costs, and all the materials, the gel coats, everything costs money. Okay, to invest in molds, those cost money to make. And yeah, I got a little bit in over my head. I really shouldn't have, because I was debt free when I moved in, and I started buying stuff for the house, you know, for my mom. Got her new TV, new couch, new table, new bed. Her bed was $2,400. And I'm not saying this to brag, but I love my mom. I wanted her to be comfortable. She was sleeping in a recliner chair for like 20 years. One of those recliner ones with a remote. And so I got her one of those lift beds so she can sleep comfortably. And so I got mad at my dad. I took the bed out of his room, and that's the day he brought his girlfriend over for Valentine's Day. And yeah, I yelled at him. I said, I bought that bed. I want my bed back. So the next day he throws the bed out of the room. So he's got no bed in his room now. And I don't know, he's lied to me so many times. He used to tell me when I first moved in, if anything, he used to tell me that he's going to give me his house, and that it was my inheritance and stuff. And he said if I ever sell it, because I got 2 other sisters, just give those sisters equal portions of whatever I get for the house. But as long as I'm here, I can keep it. But if I sell it, to give them as well. My mom didn't agree with that. She was like, no, John, I want it to be equal to all her kids. But, you know, my inheritance from my mom's side got screwed over too. I was told by my grandparents that I was going to get an inheritance. And it turns out that somebody in the family helped my grandpa do the papers, and they kind of disinherited everybody. That was a grandchild. So with my mom passing, her inheritance now doesn't go to anyone that was under her as kids. Lovely how that works. But anyways, that's a different issue. So I get home and I get this paper, and it says that I got 60 days. I don't know what he thinks. You know, I'm in debt. My wife's in debt. And yeah, I have nowhere to go. I literally can't rent anywhere. I don't make enough money. You guys heard me. You know, I make under minimum wage off what I'm doing. You know, I don't sell a whole lot of parts. Last year, I only sold like 8 big parts, like 8 dashes and bumpers. That's not very many parts, and a bunch of little tiny parts. Economy's not that great, like everybody's saying. So I really don't know what to do. I guess I'm just asking for some prayers from all you Christians out there that believe. You know, maybe you can sit down tonight and say a prayer for me. And you know, I enjoy doing what I'm doing, but if I'm getting kicked out, I might have to stop selling parts for a while. At least the fiberglass parts that I make on my website, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it if I get kicked out of here, and I don't know where I'm going to go. I know I do have 2 kit cars, and you know, those can go. You know, I got a motorcycle here that's covered up too. I don't know if you guys can see. It's I haven't driven it in a while. That's not worth much. Maybe $1,500, $2 grand. And then I got this convertible covered up that I started working on that I didn't finish. And you see I have the dash in there just sitting, kind of, you know, tinkering with it the other day. And, you know, this can probably go for, I don't know, 20 grand, 25, 30 if you do a real good job on it. But I got this thing, and then I got the T-top. So I might have to sell both cars if I'm getting the boot from my loving father or earthly dad. No, we're not supposed to call anybody father except for God up in heaven. He's our true father. He's the one that we'll see, and Jesus will be the judge of us one day when we die. That's if you believe, and I'm a believer. And I know there's a lot of unbelievers today. I know YouTube is attacking people on YouTube that are Christians. I know the schools are doing it. It's evil. You know, I know about the gay agenda, the LGBT agenda. They want to twist a man being with a woman, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on that, but just think about it, guys. Just really think about it. Can a man and a man have children? Can a woman and a woman have children? I don't think so. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it was meant to be that way. Okay, now I'm not saying you can't do it. You could do what you want. You can sin all you want. You could be a drunkard. You could be sleeping around, getting diseases from everyone if you want. That's your choice. And I'm not judging you. God will judge. In the end, He will judge us all. And I've had problems on Facebook where people told me, I deleted somebody because I didn't like the improper pictures that were up on his page. And I got attacked for it by other Christians saying that, oh, that wasn't right. You don't judge. Well, the Bible says do not judge or you will be judged. Okay, I wasn't judging unrighteously. To me, that is wrong. To me, if you're a homosexual, if you're a lesbian, gay, whatever, transgender, it's biblically wrong. That's my religion. That's my right. Okay, you can twist the law and say it's legal. That's fine, but it's still wrong in my eyes as a Christian man. And nobody can change that from me. And just look at it. Look at it, guys. Look at our credit cards. Chip. Do you have a chip? Don't you guys see the beast system is coming online? We have knowledge increasing. The Bible talks about all those things. Knowledge will be increased. It says, when my mom died, I went in the Bible and I opened it up and it went to the scripture where Jesus said, do not think that I came to bring peace, but a sword. Father will be against son, and mother against daughter-in-law, and brother against brother, and they will put you to death. And it says that the enemies of your family will be those that your closest ones, the ones that you love. And that's so true. Look at it. My dad doesn't even know this woman. He's known her maybe a month, and he says he loves her. Okay? She's still married. She's not even divorced. Yet he loves her. Just like that. So, just goes to show how when you're vulnerable and you're feeling need for companionship, how easily somebody can go and take somebody and make their enemy their son and the father their enemy, like they did in my situation. And, it's crazy because, I wasn't brought up this way. I was brought up Christian, and I was brought up to do right. And the world's changing, guys. It's really changing. Those that do bad it's considered good, and good is bad. I just found my daughter in the room after this fight that I had with my dad. My dad gave her a phone, and I don't allow my kids to have phones or devices because I know it's a lot of evil on these devices. You got to understand, your kids are using those phones looking at porn, looking at man to man, men and women, men sleeping together with those little, at a young age, 13, 14 years old, younger than that. It's perverting their minds. There was a boy on there texting my daughter on Snapchat, telling him that he was into feet. She was sending him pictures of her feet. That's how twisted it is. I took that device from her and she's not allowed to have it. It's getting crazy, guys. And I don't know if you guys know it. I've seen that before, that people were into fetishes like that. And usually it's like older people that have so into porn that they get into weird fetishes like bondage and it just gets sick. Into feet. Come on. It's just disgusting. So anyways, pray for me, guys. This world is falling apart. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about end times and all these disasters. We're having earthquakes all over the world. We're having flooding all over the world. England, Africa, America, South America, Mexico. You name it. It's happening all over the world. We got the rumors of wars against Korea, North Korea, South Korea. You got Donald Trump, who says he's a Christian. He's trying to stand up for the, for the people that are Christians, but he's a billionaire. We know what the Bible says about that, how hard it is for a rich person to get into heaven. So I'm not sold on him being this wonderful, great person either. Okay? And I'm definitely not for Obama or any president. They were all bad. They were all corrupt. Look at how many trillions in debt we are from Obama. Yeah. It didn't help the economy doing what he did, giving free money out to just whoever. So, guys, we need to stand with Jesus, and I'm going through a trial right now, and I just wanted to videotape it for you guys to let you know that you know, I'm not giving up. I believe in Jesus, and I believe through prayer, fasting and prayer, that, you know, things will look up. You know, I don't have to fear and worry about tomorrow, because he says that he loves us more than the birds in the air. So that's what I'm holding on to. But I still want your guys' prayers, because, you know, there's power in prayer, and I believe in that. And for all you guys that are not Christians, that are just here for Knight Rider, you know, just know that Jesus loves you, man. I mean, he came and he died on the cross for a reason. He was perfect. He didn't have any sin in him. I mean, look at your calendar. Look at everything's based on his death. You know, we're at 2018 after Christ. There's a reason for that. Something happened when he died and when he was resurrected. People saw that in that generation. Okay, it wasn't made up. It's the truth. And he represented good. He represented how we should walk in life, loving one another, but also chastising. He chastises us when we do wrong. You know, if you go around sleeping around with all men and women, you're going to get diseases. There's a chastisement. He doesn't want us to do those things. And I know a lot of you guys can't help it. You know, you guys are corrupted in your mind. And if you're gay or a lesbian, you know, a lot of you guys are lost. Some of you guys got raped when you were kids. And so you can't trust a man, or you can't trust a woman. And but you can trust Jesus. You know, you really can. You got to open your heart and let him in and walk in his love, you know. And I'm sorry if I'm judgmental sometimes to you guys on Facebook or whatever. Maybe that's wrong, and I shouldn't do that. I should love my enemies. I really should, and not be judgmental, because that's God's job to judge people, not mine. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys, but send me your prayers, please. I know I'll get through this. I know a lot of you guys in the hobby, you know, you're struggling with money, and you guys really want to build your car, but you know, this car ain't everything. You know, it's just a hobby for me, something that I kind of made into a small business. It's just a small hobby. You know, don't start worshiping your cars, guys. That's not good either. You know, build it, but put God first. Always God first. You know, He deserves the glory. You know, there's nothing on this earth. Everything on this earth will rust away. These cars will eventually rust away, and there's going to be nothing left but our souls that go up and meet God up in the heavens, up in the clouds. Anyways, guys, this is Jacob, KnightRiderShop.com, and yeah, send me your prayers. I need as many prayers as I can get. Thank you.